So what do I want to do for my next variety? Like, I could go back to Moon Hunters. I know we didn't get all the constellations yet. Like, I haven't got all the achievements and signs of the Sojourner, but that one didn't really do super well on YouTube. My stream now. Hello, Twitch. Hello, YouTube. You know, thanks to our incorrigible little friend Eevee here, we've got a list of unclaimed badges above. We got quick changed into our Eeveelution shirt below. It is time for Pokemon Emerald Randomized Nuzlocke. Yes, I'm super excited to finally get to do this for you. First of all, because I like doing Pokemon Nuzlocks. They're fun to play. Randomized Nuzlocks, I should say. Above, and beyond that, though, unlike Leaf Green and unlike Gold that we played before us, I've never actually played Pokemon Emerald. Like, yeah, I know the overall general story. And, like, I know the Pokemon from Gen 3 from other Pokemon games. But, like, as far as, like, who are we going to go and talk to? Where are we supposed to go? What are we going to find? Like, how is this building laid out? Like, all that stuff, it's new to me. It's like, besides the fact that we get a fun randomized Nuzlocke, I get to play a new game on top of it all. So, like, that's cool. Now, if you're, most people here know what a randomized Nuzlocke is. If you don't, I will explain it after the title screen is done, because it's a little loud. So we'll get through all the, like, the who are you, what's your name business first. Pokemon Nuzlocke? What's a Pokemon? Well, I think our professor friend here will help tell you about that part for me. Hi, sorry to keep you waiting. Welcome to the world of Pokemon. My name's Birch, but everyone calls me the Pokemon Professor. No, they don't. That's what they call Oak. How dare you stand where he stood? Nah, Birch is fine in my book. But they don't call you that. They call that to Oak, not you. This is what's called a Pokemon. It's wild, blah, blah. Okay, live alongside them, friendly playmates, cooperative workmates. Sometimes we band together, battle others. Despite our closeness, we don't know everything. Many secrets, unravel mysteries I've been researching. It's what I do. And you are. Oh, as I said, I've never played Emerald before, but, so feel free to correct me if I'm wrong on any of these, talking points. But I think the boy's name canonically is Brendan, and the girl is May. We'll play as a girl just because, the first gen we played as a girl, second gen we played as a boy, so we'll go back to girl, just everyone gets a chance to shine. But of course we are not May, we are Silver, the real protagonist here. So it's Silver. Yep. Ah, okay. You're Silver, who's moving to my hometown of Littleroot. I get it now. He's a Pokemon researcher, not a human researcher. It takes him a bit. It's okay. All right, are you ready? Your very own adventure is about to unfold. Take courage, leap into the world of Pokemon, where dreams, adventure, and friendship await. And violence, just so much violence every corner you turn. Oh no, I'm caught in my own Pokeball. I see that box jumping around. Oh, those all boxes are... I've got some concerns about this. Yeah. Silver, we're here, honey. I understand, like, before seatbelt laws, like, the concept of, like, riding in, like, the back of a pickup truck, something like that. But you're really gonna put your kid in the back of a moving truck? Like... First of all, like, I saw those boxes were stacked up higher than my head, and they were not secure. Those were like, like, one of those could easily just go, and I saw furniture. So, like, that's super dangerous. You're gonna get your kid crushed doing that. And then second of all, because you're not, like, in a seatbelt and you don't really have anything to hold on to because you're in this back of it. Like, anytime you take a corner, like, Silver/May, whatever, is gonna go, woo, and, like, fly across the... That's super dangerous. It must be tiring riding with other things in the movie. Yeah, I nearly died, Mom. This is Little Root Town. How do you like... Well, okay. To be fair, though, this is the world of Pokemon, where it's like, oh, hello, child of mine. Here, have your own monster and just go out unsupervised across the entire continent. And look, oh, you just fought a, you know, a criminal organization. Okay, sure, good for you, honey. Like, you're like riding in trucks and, you know, in the back of moving trucks since you're a baby. This is old hat to you. Oh, and it's Little Root, quaint feel. Seems easy place to live. You get your own room. Let's go inside. Okay. Since I didn't die, I guess that sounds fun, Mom. See, Silver, isn't it nice in here, too? Movers Pokemon do all the work of moving us in and cleaning up after. It's so convenient. Your room's upstairs. Go check it out. Dad bought you a new clock to mark our move here. Don't forget to say, oh, hey, it's not just a single mom. You actually have a dad on this one. Nice. Forget about it. I'm setting the TV here. Watch where you're going. Go, oogo. Putting away the boxes. All right, let's set the clock. Better set it and start it. What time is it? Oh, okay. Yeah, interesting also that it's an analog clock, you know, and the... How many of you actually know that? I mean, I guess probably the people watching me do, but it is actually a thing nowadays of kids, you know, and it's not a thing of like, oh, kids these days. It's just, you know, people born after a certain time just are not recognizing analog clocks as much because they're just not a thing. You know, and it's fine. Just like, I don't know, you know, I don't know how to work, you know, a telegraph. That was before my time. So it'll just be interesting seeing this in the future, you know, people trying to accept this. Okay. And yeah, it's about 4:58 good enough, I guess. Is this the correct time? Yeah. If it's not, we'll hard lock your game. What? How do you like your new room? Good. Everything's put away neatly. They finished moving everything in downstairs. You should make sure everything's all there on your desk. I mean, I like that your mom is just like, you're moving into this new place, and she's just like, look, you get your own room. Isn't that nice? Like, oh, it looks, you know, so nice. You know, she's doing her best to make it easy. She doesn't care about killing her child in the back of a moving truck, but, you know, since you survived, she wants to make sure it's okay. Mom might like this program. Is that program StarTrain Silver doing a Nuzlocke? He likes the beard. I don't blame her. An item in the back. Oh, oops, I hit the wrong button. It's a Nintendo GameCube. A Game Boy Advance is connected to serve as a controller. That's fun. I will say, also, I do like that about Pokemon games, is that they sort of serve as a time capsule. You know, I mean, sure, it's like, because they start out like black and white, and then they, you know, get color, then they get 3D and all that. But I like that, like, your room, it's like, oh, it's a Game Boy. Oh, it's a Game Boy Advance. Like, you know, oh, it's a Switch. And just like what Nintendo console you have just changes as time progresses, and it's just cute. Silver took a closer look at the Hoenn region map, I presume. Yes, Little Root, that seems right. I'm like, oh yes, up here we have Falarbor Town. Oh, okay. Well, that's enough time for... I hope you memorized that. I'll wait. I've never played this game. Too bad. Silver flipped open the notebook. Adventure rule number 1. Open the menu with start. Adventure rule number 2. Record your progress with save. The remaining pages are blank. Also, it's lying. Because I'm... Oh, I don't have my controller either. But yeah, I'm playing with a Super Nintendo controller, and the start is actually mapped to Y, but... Close enough, but close enough. Sure, let's save the game. Boodle-a-doo, save the game. And finally, our PC. Ooh, do we have any items in the item store? We have a potion. We're rich. Okay. Now we go to bed. Good night. We're done with the stream. Okay. Continuing on. I suppose I should talk about randomized Nuzlocke at some point, but... Or I guess we're still doing intro stuff, so... Oh, Silver, quick, come quickly, honey. Look, it's Petalburg Gym. Maybe Dad will be on. We brought you this report from in front of Petalburg Gym. Oh, it's a... I think Dad was on, but we missed him. Too bad. Oh yes, one of Dad's friends lives in town. Professor Birch is his name. He lives right next door, so you should go over and introduce yourself. Okay. Let's go and introduce ourselves. But first, now I think will be a good time where we just take in that Petalburg No, Little Root. That's where we are. Petalburg's the gym. Taking that Little Root music, and let's quickly go over, for those who don't know what a randomized Nuzlocke is. Now, for all the people watching on Twitch, of course, I guess if you watch the VOD, but that's it. But for all you people on YouTube, if you ever get confused or like, wait, what did you say you were doing? You can just look below. Because down there in the description, I will have a list of all these rules as well. So, randomized. What are we randomizing? A lot, but not everything. First of all, Pokemon. They are all random. Almost. So all the wild Pokemon you find are starters to choose from. Static Pokemon encounters and stuff like if there's like Snorlax blocking a path, what people ask for in trade, what people give you in trade, what, you know, trainers fight with, what gym members fight with, all that random. The one exception is our rival will have the same starter throughout the entire game, just because, you know, it makes it a little more fun. It actually fits with the Nuzlocke theme, which we'll get to in a bit. But so yeah, we'll pick our starter, they'll get their starter, and then for the entire game, they will keep their starter. What else? Items are randomized, so the items that you find or the items that you pick up. Item pick up. The items you find or the items Pokemon are holding, let's say. You know, sometimes they'll be good, sometimes they'll be bad. Like a potion, it might be equivalent and turn into a Pokeball. It might be worse, turn into a piece of mail. It might be great, turn into a Master Ball. It's all random, who knows? TMs and HMs we'll talk about in just a second. TMs are all randomized, both in what they do and who can learn them. So, you know, you find something that's Tackle. Well, maybe that'll turn into Sand Attack. Maybe that'll turn into Hydro Pump. And of course, it works the other way too. Maybe you find what's supposed to be Flamethrower, and all of a sudden, you know, now you get Quick Attack or something. You know, or on the other hand, maybe you get like a Sacred Fire. So, you know, who knows? It's all random. And then who can learn them is random. So rather than it based on whether it makes sense or who's supposed to, I believe it is a 50-50 chance. It's just a coin flip, I think. So, you know, you find Water Gun. Maybe your water Pokemon can learn it, but maybe it can't. Maybe instead your fire Pokemon can learn it. Oh well, that's how it works. HMs are a little different. HMs are universally learnable by everybody. The reason for that is, you know, and that's how we did it in Leaf Green and Gold as well. Because of how a Nuzlocke works, which again I'll get into in just a second, it is possible, albeit unlikely, that all the Pokemon you have might not be able to learn an HM. And that would be a problem because then you'll be stuck. Like, if you have to, like, cut a bush that's in your way and you've no one that can learn cut, what are you going to do? You're stuck. So, in this case, any Pokemon can learn any HM, and we'll just do what we did before in our randomized Nuzlocke runs. We'll just try and keep it somewhat thematic. Like, you know, if we get Fly, we'll either teach it to a flying Pokemon or, like, maybe something that's levitating. Like, you know, it makes sense. We'll try and teach, you know, Surf to only water Pokemon, but, you know, if we have to do something else because we don't have anything that makes sense, oh well. You know, we're not going to get crazy and be like, you know, let's just teach, you know, everybody Fly. Like, we got our Pidgey with Fly. We've got our Diglett with Fly. You know, we'll try and keep it appropriate. And finally, new to this gen, well, new because in Leaf Green I didn't want to do it because it was my first randomized Nuzlocke, and Gold couldn't do it. Abilities are random. So all Pokemon have sort of a natural ability now that comes with them. A lot of the time, that won't necessarily mean much, or it will be useless. Like, you know, you catch a fire type, and now their ability might be randomized. Like, it powers up water moves. Good for you. Granted, you could get lucky or unlucky if you get a very strong move like, or a very strong Pokemon with a bad move, say, normally Slacking as Truant, because Slacking's so strong, it has an ability that it can only act every other turn. Like, every second turn, it slacks off and does nothing. So that could help, because with random abilities, maybe now we get a Slacking, and it doesn't have Truant. Hey, great, super powerful Pokemon. On the other hand, because things are randomized, maybe we go like, oh, we got a Dragonite, but it has Truant, so whoops, bomp, bomp. So that's all the randomization. Nuzlocke, what is a Nuzlocke? Well, there are 3 core rules to a Nuzlocke, and then sort of everyone kind of does their own variations on those rules now. The 3 core rules. 1, you have to nickname any Pokemon you catch. This gives you a rapport with them. It makes them more familiar, more lovable, because 2, if your Pokemon faints, it's dead. You can no longer battle with it. One little exception we'll get to, but if a Pokemon faints, it's dead for the most part. 3, and so you're like, okay, well, then I'll just go catch a bunch of Pokemon, it won't matter. No, because 3, you only have the chance to catch the first Pokemon in any area, and only one time. So let's say we're, here and by area, I mean like a town, like Little Route, or like Route 1, or, it's like a route, a cave, a town, stuff like that. 1 per thing. So you're walking along here, and boodle-doodle-doodle-doodle-doo. Okay, it's a Pidgey. Well, if you're like, well, I don't want a Pidgey, too bad, because it's the first thing you encountered, you have to catch it. Now, if you accidentally knock it out, it's dead, so you can't catch it. If it runs away, it's gone. You can't catch it. And so if you don't catch it and you go, blah-diddle-diddle-doo, here's a Rattata. No, you're not allowed to get that because you were only allowed to catch the first thing you found. So those are the 3 core rules of the Nuzlocke. Nickname, perma-death, and you can only catch the first thing per area. The optional rules we're using on top of that. The first, Rule 4, the species/duplicate clause. Technically, this breaks Rule 3 of the core rules, but oh well. What it means is if you have a Pokemon or any of its evolutionary line, you are allowed to re-encounter. And the reason for that is because it makes it more interesting to play, it makes it more interesting to watch. This is supposed to be entertainment, we're not in a Nuzlocke tournament. And especially with stuff randomized, it's more fun, right? So if you have a Squirtle and you're like, diddle-diddle-diddle-doo, Wartortle, you can be like, no, I already have, something in that line, let's look again, and then doodle-doodle-doo, this will count as your first one. And it works, backwards too. If you have a Wartortle and you find a Squirtle, go and encounter a second thing instead. So species, duplicate clause. Now, technically, you don't have to re-encounter, but, unless you had something that's dead now, there's really no reason to. And I'm not going to, because, yeah, sure, it's like, oh, I have a Dragonite, and we found another Dragonite. Let's have 2, because that's really strong. No, because that's boring. Optional rule number 5. The Nuzlocke itself does not start until you have Pokeballs and can catch things. The reason for this is especially because of the randomized part. We're going to go get our starter, right? Starter, 1, 2, or 3. If that's a very weak Pokemon, you might be forced into a battle with it that you cannot win. And you're like, oh no, my rival has Pokemon 2 now instead, and it's going to just beat me no matter what I do. I can't win. That's okay. And so this is here just sort of like, the run is not over. You don't have to just re-roll just because you got a bad intro. Once you have Pokeballs and you can start catching things, then the run officially starts. If you get a really strong Pokemon as your opponent and you can't catch it and then you're stuck with your weak guy, then it's too bad for you. Yeah, run doesn't start till you have Pokeballs just to prevent having to restart due to unfortunate randomization. Rule 6. 6, that's 5. 1, there we go. 5, 1, 5, 1. Rule 6. We are going to try our best not to super power level, because of course you hear these rules and you're like, oh, you have limited Pokemon, and since it's randomized, you can't choose. Well, I'm going to just get them super strong, and we're just going to beat up everybody through sheer force. No, that's boring. So we're going to try our best not to over-level by being at or below the next gym leader's ace. But what I mean is that, if you haven't played a Pokemon game, is let's say the next gym leader will have like 3 Pokemon, 1 level 10, 1 level 10, 1 level 12. I don't have my list of the level. I don't know what they actually are, but it'll have something that where a gym leader will have like 1 that's a little bit higher, that's like their Pokemon. So in this case, if it's, level 10, level 10, level 12, we will keep all our Pokemon at or below level 12. The randomizer I use does not have a way to build that in naturally, so we just have to play it ourselves and use the honor system. And if we accidentally go over, it's okay. It's not the end of the run. Like if I accidentally got someone to 13, it happens. It's not a hard like, oh, your run is over now, you have to quit. It's just you just don't want to have like, okay, well, I'm gonna level everyone up to like 18 and we're just gonna sweep everybody from now until whenever. So we'll do our best to stay at or below the ace. If someone goes over, oh well. Just to make it a little more fun. Rule number, I'm holding my controller, 7. The shiny clause. Again, technically, based on the Nuzlocke, if you're like, first encounter, we got a Pidgey here. Okay, great, good for us. now you go off, you do some quest here. Oh, hi, Mr. Sign. Go to the top of the screen. Okay, you come back into this route. Do. Blah, 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 and you find a shiny Rattata. Technically speaking, you don't get to catch it, right? You already caught your Pidgey, but because shinies are cool and people like them, and especially in these older games, they're so rare. In fact, let me look it up. I don't remember the numbers off the top of my head. Yeah, okay. So, in newer gens, it's not as low, and you also get, stuff like shiny charms, or getting chains of stuff to increase stuff. But in the first gens, in gens 2, 3, 4, and 5, the chance to just find a shiny out in the wild is 1 out of 8,192. Right? It's very low. And then 6 to 9, it's 1 out of 4096, not including, things that boost your rate. So yeah, 1 out of 8192, basically 1 out of 8,000. It's such a low chance, and it's just fun to have a shiny. Like, if we find a shiny, we are allowed to catch it. And of course, it's all based on luck. When we did Leaf Green, I don't think we ever encountered any. I don't think. When we did Gold, we got super lucky. We found a shiny Charizard and a shiny Mewtwo. The shiny Charizard wasn't even a shiny Claws. It was our first encounter in a route. It was great. So, you just never know. But there it is. It's just, the shiny Claws. If you're like, oh, but sir, you already caught something in this route. Well, yeah, but this one is shiny, so I get to catch it anyway. So, nah. We might not necessarily use it if it's not good, but you're allowed to. And finally, the very last rule before we actually get on with the game, the whiteout. What happens if we white out, if we get all of our Pokemon knocked out? A lot of people you have watched before, if you watch Randomized Nuzlocks, consider that a game over. You're fighting, you lose all your Pokemon, and it's like, well, that's it, we're done. The run's over, we lost. Technically, that is not part of the original Nuzlocke rules, right? Like, if you have Pokemon still in your PC, okay, we went and fought, this guy over here, if you use a PC, you can store items and Pokemon. The power of science is staggering. Oh, he hit us with science. It was super effective. All our Pokemon are gone. Nothing says that you can't then just go back. Like, okay, we lost Pokemons 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, but what would you like to do? Well, we can't select Pokemon now, but let's get our Pokemon out of the box and get Pokemon, 7 through 12. It happened. Now, it's only happened to us once. We've only whited out once, early on in our Gold. And I just considered it a game over because luck was not on our side, and we whited out, and it just seemed appropriate. Like, that this run was not going well, we lost. Let's start again. Will I do that this time? I don't know. It depends. Like, if we're pretty early in the game, yeah, we'll probably be like, okay, we lost. Let's try again. But if we're really late in the game, and we have, a bunch of cool Pokemon in the PC, be like, oh, it'd be super fun to use that guy, but we already have this type on our team, maybe we'll just keep going, So if you're like, oh, but you got a whiteout, why are you still playing? Because we don't have to declare a game over if we don't want to. Professor Birch spends his days in the lab studying, then he'll suddenly go out in the wild to do more research. Good for him. So those are the whole rules of randomization, Nuzlocke, and if you ever want to check them, they'll all be down below. And then it will also include stuff about the levels, more detailed things like, no impossible evolutions, I believe 40 or 30 or 5 or something. That, if you want to check on all that stuff, go ahead and read up on it in the YouTube video descriptions. Huh? Professor Birch? The professor's away on fieldwork. Ergo, he isn't here. Oh, let me explain what fieldwork is. It's to study things in the natural environment like fields and mountains instead of a laboratory. The professor isn't one for doing desk work. Don't be patronizing to me. It's a book. It's too hard to read. Well, okay. What's that? Like, if that's like a quantum physics book, that's one thing. But if it's like Cat in the Hat, maybe he is like, let me tell you what fieldwork is, child. Like, how old are you anyways? Let me look this up. Pokemon protagonist ages. Like, I got the power of the internet at my hand. Like, well, we might as well look. Okay, so for comparison, Red and Blue in Gen 1 were 11, and then, 14 in Gen 2 after 3 years have passed, because that's how math works. So, yeah, Red and Blue were 11. Here, Brendan and May are 12 years old. Okay, so you're 12. Interesting, also, it's Brendan's age is mentioned if you play as May, and May's age is mentioned if you play as Brendan. So they mentioned the other one, but they are both 12. So hooray for us, we're 12. So yeah, like, it's a, you know, being like, hello, 12-year-old, here's what field work is. Like, okay. Oh, hello, and you are? Oh, you're Silver, our new next-door neighbor. Hi, we have a son about the same age as you. Our son was excited about making a new friend. Our son is upstairs, I think. Hello. Hi, neighbor. Do you already have your own Pokemon? No, I don't. I haven't picked a starter, and I don't have Pokeballs. Mom might like this program. Okay, so it's just sort of the same as your room. An email from Pokemon Trainer School. It may... You have been rejected. What, did you see anything in my room? No. So I presume let's take up the item. No, and we can't. Hey, you! Who are you? Oh, you're Silver, aren't you? Moved in next door, right? I didn't know that you're a girl. Professor Birch said our new next-door neighbor's a gym leader's kid, so I assumed you'd be a guy. Excuse me, sir. A little bit sexist there, aren't you? Oh, also, it doesn't even make sense, like... Need a bit of water after all that talking, but... Okay, even if you want to be like, you know, little kid 90s mindset of like, fighting is for boys, rah, 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 you know, it's that type of thing. Even if you're thinking that, why would your dad being a gym leader have to have anything to do with what their kid is? Like, your dad is a guy, therefore their kid has to be a guy. My name's Brendan. So, hi, neighbor. Huh? Oh, hey, Silver, don't you have a Pokemon? Do you want me to go catch you one? Aw, darn, I forgot. Let's go help my dad catch some some other time, okay? Well, I mean, he's nice if his views aren't a bit antiquated. And kind of stupid on top of that, but yeah, antiquated views and his mind's a little slow, but I'm very curious now what would happen if you played as Brendan, what May would say to you. But, you know, at least his heart's in the right spot, I think. Hi. There are scary Pokemon outside. I can hear their cries. I want to go see what's going on, but I don't have any Pokemon. You go see what's happening for me? Sure. Help me! You're being chased by a Zigzagoon. I mean, you know, ferrets are pretty gnarly. You know, they can scratch you up. Hello, you over there. Help! He stops. Ah, you. Ah! In my bag, there's a Pokeball. Oh. Okay. Before we touch this bag, we're gonna get our starters. And because we're doing randomization, like normally I'd ask Twitch chat, and they would just, you know, either help me or troll me or whatever. But because I recording this part early because of the intro and stuff, I'm just recording this on my own, so that I can't play favorites. Before we even see what they are, I have... Okay, there we go. Random number generator from calculator.net. Oh, we don't need 100 choices. I wish. But no, we only have 3 choices for our stars. So as you can see, 1 through 3 inclusive, just, you know, 2, 1, 2, 3, there you go. Well, let's just clear that off so I'm not like, oh, we got number 1, and you're like, no, you just never clicked it. Brr. So, 1 through 3, we will, you know, my hands are off. We will just click it, see what happens, what we get. Oh, and before I touch anything, to explain, the way it's gonna work is, so, I guess that's backwards view. So 1 will be whatever Pokeball is on the left. 2 will be whatever's in the center, the one we see first. And 3 will be whatever is on the right. So now I can't just be like, oh, you got, you know, number 1. It's like, well, I saw this one first, therefore that's number 1, as opposed to like, you know, this one is bad, or if like this one is in the middle bad and this one's good, like, well, 1's on the right. So no, we're letting fate decide now 1 through 3, let's go. All right, 3. Whatever is on the right. It's very weird for me because I have to be like the right side, but I'm putting it on my left just because I have my camera mirrored right now. So, all right. 3. Good number 3. No whammies, no whammies, no whammies. All right. We're helping you in just a second. So, number, 2. The first one that we're seeing, because I said it's in the middle. The star-shaped Pokemon, Staryu. Professor Birch is in trouble. Are we going to use this guy to rescue him? No, we are not. I guess we'll look at number 3 last. There's a big reveal. Oh, the Iron Snake Pokemon, Steelix. Okay, so we could have had a Steelix. We could have had a Staryu. But, yeah, those are... Like, Steelix is definitely the better one of that set, especially because it's already evolved. You wouldn't need to find a steel coat or whatever for it. Maybe that's turned off in Impossible Evolutions, I don't know. Staryu, like, okay, it'd be better if it was a Starmie, but, those are both decent. But, maybe we're gonna get a Rattata, maybe we're gonna get a Mewtwo. Survey says, Pokemon 3, Flygon. Okay. That is not a bad find. Now, I'm just wondering, like, so on the one hand, that's a very interesting set, because we have Steel Ground, Water, and Ground Dragon. Now, what I'm curious about is, I don't know the order these are presented in, so it'll be interesting to see if I pick Flygon, does my rival get Staryu or Steelix? Because Steelix would definitely be the better one for the rival to get. Because it's like, okay, ground isn't going to do very much to me. I forget, steel, like, resists dragon, I think. But the steel is weak to the ground. I don't know how, like, ground will affect a steel ground, like, the dual type stuff. But, like, water for sure would be not great. I guess it'd be neutral, but... Flygon. I mean, I like that it's evolved, like... That is a good set. Like, Staryu is kind of a womp womp. Like, it's not bad. Like, it's okay as a water type, but it's nothing crazy. Steelix and Flygon, like... We would not have gone wrong with any of these. Like, those are all good Pokemon. The one problem. You're like, okay, well, that's cool. You get to choose between Steelix or Flygon. Like, you got a pretty good starter. I don't know what they learn. Because some Pokemon that, like, evolve, like, to a cool final form don't necessarily learn interesting things. Wait. Oh, can I read about these? And okay, never mind. If we don't learn anything else, I think we're good. Stand Tomb, Bite, and Fainted. Like, I hope we learn some dragon things, too. And other, like, we're not starting off bad. I forget, is Feint Attack the one that can't kill? Or is that something else? Okay, Feint Attack again. I just want to see, is Feint Attack the one that leaves a Pokemon at 1? Because if so, we got the perfect Pokemon. Okay, no, so that does kill. Good to know. So we don't, like, it won't kill any... What is that? Sucker Punch? It's a ghost move, whatever it is. So I guess it wouldn't have been able to hit a Zigzagoon now that I'm thinking about it. Whew! I was in the tall grass studying wild Pokemon when I was jumped! Like, does it count if... I mean, it's a Zigzagoon, but, like, I was out in nature and I got jumped by a ferret? Like, I don't think that's how this works, sir. Oh, hi, you're Silver. This is not the place to chat. What did I don't even remember what I did for his voice at the beginning. Come back to my lab later, okay? I think it was something like that. Come back later, by which I mean cutscene there, right now. Whoop! So, Silver, I've heard so much about you from your father. I've heard that you don't have your own Pokemon yet. But the way you battled earlier pulled it off with aplomb. You don't have your own Pokemon yet, Mick, but what about this one? No, that's mine. Oh yes, as thanks for rescuing me, I'd like you to have the Pokemon you used earlier. That was a good set. Steelix and Flygon. That's a good set. Again, Staryu is, you know, but still 2 out of 3 being heavy hitters off this. Yeah, I don't know. We might encounter a Mewtwo and get wiped in our, first, trainer battle, but I'm feeling things about this run. It wasn't an Eevee. This run sucks. Yeah. Anyways, Flygon's nickname. Now, do we have it? Because, yes, I still have the nicknames from my Leaf Green and Gold runs that I never used when I was like, oh, hey, people watching on Twitch, people watching on YouTube. If you haven't, let me tell you now. If you are watching this, on YouTube, you're not watching this episode on Twitch, but in the future, if you're watching on Twitch or YouTube, and you have a name that you want to give a Pokemon, let me know, and I'll name a Pokemon after you, or whatever. Just tell me this is a family-friendly one. This is not Tactical Breach Wizards. This isn't Dark Souls. So, some names are very funny, yes, but keep it family-friendly. The names we had, Hailbop. All right. I believe that one was, I did not write that one down, but I believe that was a request from Mild-Mannered Minotaur. Well, no, not just H. My name is H. Now, unfortunately, the problem with doing this, 2 years later is I can't ask for clarification. Well, if they show up again, I could be like, what did you mean by this? And they'll probably be like, I don't remember. I don't know if they wanted just Hail Bop, because, the Comet, I'm fairly certain has 2 P's, right? Yeah. But I don't know if they wanted Hail Bop, just the Comet, or if they wanted, Hail Bop, just, bopping, along with music. I guess I'll go the Comet name, and if I was wrong, sue me. Look, I have your name recorded from 2 years ago, so that should be good enough, right? If you work at Pokemon and gain experience, I think you'll make an extremely good trainer. My kid Brendan's studying Pokemon while helping me out. Don't you think it might be a good idea to go see him? No, he's got weird views about women. Okay. He should be happy too. Get Brendan to teach you what it means to be a trainer. Do I have to? Look, he's in the formative age. Rather than being like, no, I don't want anything to do with him, I think it'd be better just to be a good role model and be like, hey, look, women can be fighters and trainers too. And, he'll be like, oh, yeah, I had some stupid ideas growing up. Okay. I think that's the better plan rather than just writing him off entirely. But now he's not here. What? Your dad's a trainer, but you're a gym leader, but you fight too? Whoa! You say Professor Burst, I'm so glad. Yeah, but where am I supposed to go? I've never played this game. I don't know. I'm 4. Maybe he came to visit and apologized to my mom for being weird. Hi. How are you doing, Silver? You look tired. You should rest a bit. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-bow. Gotta love that sound. Did he come barge into my room? Which I'd be like, hey, get out of my room, but, I barged into his. Fair game. Yeah. Let's also save now that we started it in entirety. I saved the game. Cool. Okay. I'm gonna call that here just because, I'd rather be streaming this rather than just recording it on my own so that people can also drop by, give me name suggestions, all that fun stuff that comes along with streaming. But, I was recording this just because I had to set up the intro and all that. So this will be a YouTube video, just a little starter, a little, it'll be a little bit shorter than a normal one, I think. We'll see after editing and all that. But join me next time, YouTube, for when we start the adventure proper, and what an adventure it's starting out to be. Actually, we never looked at our Pokemon abilities yet, because that's randomized. I have to start doing that now. Because, yeah, what a start, getting a Flygon? Flygon or Steelix? That... I think that has been our best start. Just in terms of any of them. Because I feel like some of the other ones weren't as great, but... I don't know, I'd have to look at the other runs to know for sure. So, what does our Pokemon have? Hustle. Trades accuracy for power as its randomized ability. I'm gonna need to pull up, I'm gonna bookmark this too, because I do not know Pokemon abilities all that. Like, I know the Pokemon in this gen, but I don't necessarily know their abilities. So we're just gonna put that right there on a bookmark. Hustle. Hustle increases the ability bearer's attack by 50%. However, it also reduces the accuracy of all physical moves by 20%. And outside of battle, if a Pokemon with Hustle is leading party, wild Pokemon are 50% more likely to be a higher level. Whoa. That kind of makes an interesting... We're kind of playing on not hard mode, but... Okay, that's kind of cool. So we start with a really cool dude, a Flygon, who's gonna hit like a truck, but is gonna miss a lot of its moves. And then the Pokemon we encounter, if it's leading it, is gonna be... The Pokemon we encounter might be higher level. Like, okay, we're playing kind of spicy mode. Yeah, all right. I'll take that as a start. And we have a good set of moves to start with. Because I was worried about the thing with getting like level evolved to their third form Pokemon is some don't learn a lot of good moves, and like you have to learn them before they evolve, and like some won't learn anything. It's like, well, whatever your moveset is, that's what you got, and then you have to hope on random TMs and stuff. And then I got sidetracked because I saw what moves it has. Look at this: Sand Tomb, Bite, Feint Attack, Sand Attack. Now, of course, yeah, like Sand Tomb, it's not Earthquake or whatever. Like, yeah, I hope we get some better moves than this. But, like, for a starter Pokemon, 2 types, one of which might negate Hustle because it has no accuracy. Like, it's just a 100% always hits. Like, it's not even 100 accuracy, because that could lower to, 80. What did I say, 20, 25? Or 75, whatever I just said. No, it's just, it hits. So I don't know that Hustle even affects Feint Attack. So that's cool. Bites with Vicious Fangs, it may flinch. Again, power 60, that's cool. Our Earth Attack, our stab move is only 15. But, it hurts people multiple times, 2 to 5 turns. And then there's Sand Attack, It's Sand Attack as a start. Of course, we figured we have something. That is... Huh. Oh, there's weird Heart Appeal, Jam. I don't know what all those stuff are about, but... Oh, contest moves, I don't know. So yeah, join me next time as we start the adventure. It looks to be a kind of a spicy start. Big Pokemon hitting big, might miss, but... Yeah, I will not call that a loss. That was a heck of a Pokemon. So, see you then. Leap into the world of Pokemon, where dreams, adventure, and friendship await. And violence, just so much violence every corner you turn.